It's time for Inside the Patch with your Las Vegas Raiders. Here's Gnarley Charley.
I have been waiting for this for 2 weeks to talk to Brian Noe and to gloat about the Raiders winning 2 games since we last spoke.
Gnarley, it's funny, man. You're a gamer. Because before this started, we talked for about a minute or two, and your voice was awful. I think I'm going to have nightmares about your voice later tonight. And then we get on, and boom, you're just out of the gate, and you sound like a legend.
It's back. It's back. You know, there was a little guy named Josh Jacobs, number 28, wasn't supposed to play. And he kind of did the same thing. He said, you know what? Put me in, coach. I'm going to play. I'm going to play.
You know what's funny is the weeks that the Raiders have lost, and I'll say this quietly for the Raider fans listening, it's happened more weeks than weeks that they've won. You know what I'm saying?
7 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 7 weeks. So when they lose, the conversation can go off the rails. You know what I mean? we're talking about toothpaste and hair products and anything under the sun.
Draft choices.
And we kind of put the Raiders on the back burner. Now I'm noticing after a win, after 2 straight wins, I could mention your voice and boom, it's right back to Josh Jacobs. I could mention horses and somehow you find a way to work in Max Crosby, you know?
Well, exactly. I mean, there is a slight chance that we could be in the playoffs. A slight chance. It would start with us running the table.
Wow. That's where it starts, huh?
Yeah.
Well, listen, man, you've done a great job over the years, Gnarley, promoting various things, you know? And you know how it is in radio. Every now and then you promote a product that you're like, it's okay, but you make it sound like it's the greatest thing of all time.
Like the Flowbee that cuts your hair and sucks it through a vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, like that. But you sell it, right? You pull it off.
You have to.
So I don't know if this is your Raiders sales pitch or you think there's a possibility of this happening.
Well, here's where I stand on it. We know we've ruined the season. We made it as hard as it is to get into the playoffs. Coming up, we play both LA teams 2 weeks in a row. Chargers in Vegas, and then the Rams at home on a short week. Let's say we beat them. Well, then guess what? We're walking in to play the New England Patriots on a 4-game win streak. Now, there's some connection. I mean, half our team is the Patriots of last year. You know, coaching staff, everything. So let's say this, we catch that spark from last year. Let's call it the Ruggs Gruden spark of energy or whatever it was that we caught. We'll find out. Like, if last year had to happen, I'd be like, not a chance. But we did it last year. Something caught fire. And don't forget, Devontae's got a Taco Bell in his house. I mean,
well, that's true. Right. Chalupa is great for a burst of energy.
That's right. So it's the Chalupa effect is what I think it is.
Yeah. You know what's funny is it would be so NFL if they did get hot because that's not what most of us are expecting. We talked about this earlier in the season, Gnarley, and we thought that the Raiders, the soft part of their schedule, where they might get hot, they might go on a run. They barely lost to the Chiefs, right?
Right.
And it's like, okay, you get the Texans, the Saints, the Jags, and the Colts. It's like, what if they get hot right there? They went 1-3 during that stretch. And so now that they're 4-7, and although they've won 2 straight, most people that have watched the NFL all year are not expecting the Raiders to get hot to the point where they're in serious playoff contention. But I'm just saying it would be very NFL for just when you think, all right, I got it figured out, this team isn't for real, that they sneak up and surprise you.
2 LA wins. We win twice in LA, and if somehow we beat New England. Now we head to Pittsburgh on Christmas Eve. What a great stocking stuffer that would be, you know? And then we find ourselves, okay, we might have a shot if we win out. We've got the Niners and the Chiefs. two very good teams who are probably not worried about the playoffs because they're going to be in. So they might want to rest some players. I feel like the stars have aligned in a weird way, you know.
I just think, look, you got to win 4 more in a row. To be 1 game over 500.
Right.
That's right. You got to win 4 in a row, which would be 6 in a row.
Right.
Collectively. Yeah. To be 1 game over 500.
Yeah.
That's how much digging the Raiders have done with their earlier losses.
Well, since I spoke to you last, okay, I came home. You know I have animals. I used to have goats. Apparently they have been eaten, so they're gone. I come home, and I hear this noise. This is after the loss to the Panthers, right? My cat, whose name is Ruggs, black cat, good luck, Ruggs, is hanging upside down on the blinds, upside down, with one paw. I don't know if he's been there for a fortnight, for 10 minutes. He's not. He's hanging and crying like, please help me. So I walk over and I'm like, I got you. The minute I touched him, he turned on me. I don't know if you could see. You can't see, but I counted 39 pokes and 2 bites. It went on for like 30 seconds.
Wow.
I had to wait for Gina to come in the other room to extract him from me because he wasn't letting go. He wasn't letting go. And I will say I was squealing like a woman. I mean, not like a woman, like a little child. Okay, women are great. Please send your emails to me. you know, I mean.
So you're trying to help poor Ruggs out, and Ruggs is startled, thinks the worst, and is in a life-saving death fight against you, basically, right?
Well, he's got all those ice picks on his hand. So first object to get near, he dug in. I'm digging in and holding because I don't know how long he's been hanging upside down, like a bat. So, and I'm like, damn cats. So
where did it go from there? The worst you didn't hammer throw Ruggs like you were an Olympian?
Finally, we got him off. Now I go into the bathroom and we get the procs out and we start the count. And I look like a heroin addict. I look like I have been just shooting up for weeks. And she's cleaning it and going, oh, that's deep. Ooh, that's a bite. You might have to get a tetanus shot. And all of a sudden, here comes Ruggs. Like nothing happened. Pops up on the counter, gives a little rubs my hand with his head, like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, do you see the damage? Do you see this?
Yeah.
And it was like 2 different cats. And I was like, my goodness. But it did make the Raiders win 2 games. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I'm just going with that. Sometimes you got to take punishment like the Tiger King.
So did this happen before Thanksgiving?
This is before Thanksgiving. So I had to explain at Thanksgiving that I am not a heroin addict. You know, that
right.
That the 42 punctures were from a cat.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness. And now Ruggs is chill, got it out of its system, good to go.
Acts like we're best friends. He wouldn't look at it, though, but he was like, hey, was everything good? I'm like, you have no idea what you just did to me. But, you know, in a weird way, like a metaphor, the Raiders are like my arm, you know?
Yeah, here's
it's been through a lot.
Yeah.
It's been through a lot.
Been through a lot.
And it still works. So
let's make a deal with the Raiders making the playoffs. Okay. Would you sign up for the Raiders making the playoffs if what happened to your one arm happened to your other arm and both legs? Would you sign up for the playoffs if you had to go through all of that?
I think I have to say yes, right? But the reality is it's not going to happen because if it was really happened, I don't know if I would. It was one of the most painful things I've ever been through. And it's a cat. You know, I can't imagine a tiger or a lion.
Where'd he bite you? Was it like hunk of the forearm?
No, he went for the, what do you call it, tricep?
Oh, he went tricep on you.
So he had a good hold on me, and he just kind of pulled his mouth around, and 2 tricep bites, 2. Bam and bam.
I'll tell you, man, I think like this. If I had video footage of just 2 moments in your life, one would be the helmet toss when you were in a blind rage in your high school football days.
Yeah.
And I think video moment number 2 is Ruggs.
Oh.
Just going in on you like you are a hunk of flesh over there in the Serengeti or something like that.
When I think, the real Ruggs is in prison. So maybe he's toughened up a little bit, And my Ruggs mom was a feral cat, not a homemaker. And he's got a messed up tail because I think his mom used to carry him funny, jacked his tail up. So he's got issues. He's got definitely trust issues. And my arm just happened to be the punching bag that day.
Wow, man. Wow. I hope you heal up fast. You're better than me. If I was being attacked like that, I'm not for animal cruelty. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I got to do what I got to do to get my arm free. And it just might have happened within the struggle that poor Ruggs, knocked up against something and things went south.
Well, I think my first reaction was to swing it. And now Ruggs turned into a rodeo bronco rider. He just dug in, and he wasn't coming off. He regripped a couple times, but he wasn't. He was just holding on.
How did you get free? What happened?
Well, finally, Gina came in, and I think he realized there was no danger. But then the dogs came in, which made him push a little deeper, and then he just let go. So I think he'd been hanging upside down. We just got home, and I heard him. So his little claw might have been upside down for 20 minutes. I don't know. But they're little acrobats, so he's practicing his new Cirque du Soleil skills, and he got hung up without a spotter. Let that be a lesson, kids. Always have a spotter when you're trying to go one leg off the drapes or the curtains, anything.
Have you ever gotten stuck bench pressing without a spotter?
No, but I have fallen beside the bed and got stuck in between the bed, and I couldn't move. And I was there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bed was near the wall, but there was enough room for you to fall in between the wall and the bed?
I was 7 and not strong enough to move the bed. Or I probably could have. Didn't realize it. Didn't know I didn't have Superman strength.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I can compare it to is I was at the radio station borrowing mics one time, and I tell Gina, hey, I'll be right back. She's in the parking lot. But I've done that to her before, and I stay an hour up there. So I don't come back because when I walked into the closet, it shut behind me. And for whatever reason, locks were backwards, so it locks. I wasn't even on the radar missing for 50 minutes.
Oh, wow.
She just thought, she went over and walked to the store thinking, oh, that jerk's in there playing radio, doing his thing. And then finally, I got out after an hour, but mentally, it screwed with me. Yeah.
I got locked in a van one time. This is a funny story. You'll laugh about it. So I was doing radio in Albany, New York.
Nice.
And we would go out and do these live broadcasts for MMA fights. So UFC, it'd be from 10 until midnight. We would broadcast at the sports bar. And so it was a one-man band sometimes. They would, how radio stations, they cut back. Right. We don't need the promotions guy. Whoever's emceeing it, you go out there, you drive the van, just park it in the front so there's signage, and just do your thing. So I'm like, okay. So I drove the van there, parked the van, had to go out to get whatever I was getting. And so I opened the back door up, walk in, back door closes on me. And it wasn't closed all the way. It was closed partially, but it had the child-proof thing going on.
And you're by yourself.
By myself. And so I'm just banging on this door, banging on it. I can't get it to move. It's locked. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'd hate to call the sports bar and be like, hey, can you have somebody come out here and open this? I'd feel like
I locked myself in the van.
I locked myself in the van. So I call a couple of my radio friends. Hey, man, I think I'm locked in the van. They're just laughing at me. Hey, call your boy so-and-so to get you out, whatever. No help whatsoever, nothing. And so I'm like, what am I going to do? It finally dawns on me. I'm like, why don't I try the side door just to see?
No.
And so after all this time, I walk over the side door. It's unlocked. I walk right out. I wasted all that time thinking I was locked in when I never was.
See, I didn't have a phone. I should have. I always take my phone now wherever I go. Because if I had a phone,
I had my phone. I'm calling my friends, and they're
laughing at you. And they're laughing at you.
Yeah.
I would have called 911 and said, this van's on fire. I don't know what's going on.
This van is on fire.
That's crazy. Well, so am I'm kind of basing everything on the Charger Rams. If we can pull those off, and those are not easy wins. Super Bowl champ, they're not doing very well right now, but neither are the Raiders. And the Chargers, they're hurt. There's a lot of hurt people. It could be the spark. Like right now, it's just a thought. If we beat the Chargers, Raider fans are going to buy Super Bowl tickets.
I just appreciate your positivity. That's what I would like to take out of this, okay? You got goats dying. You got a psycho cat that's trying to take your arm off.
Right.
And here you are with optimism, with the 4-7 Raiders making the playoffs. I think everybody listening can take a lesson out of it. They can learn a lesson out of the power of positivity starring Gnarley Charley. That's what I would like to take out of this whole thing.
Are you going to make December? Is December going to run you over, and you're going to be mad at people looking for parking spots around the shuffle and bustle, or are you going to just take December by your hands and say, you know what, it's okay, Santa, Raiders got a shot, right? And this is my little goal. This is my little clause here. Come on, Raiders, we got this. We can pull this off. Didn't we lose to the Saints, Pad? Why are you playing that?
Wait a minute, is that the New Orleans Santa over there? That's the Jazz Santa?
Santa's rubbing in my face. He's saying, beat them first. Yeah.
It's Mardi Gras Santa. I didn't know that one existed.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So the last thing I want to cover, though, is the similarities between Bo Jackson and Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
The score was the same. Remember when Bo took off to the tunnel?
Sure.
Very famous. He knocked Bosworth over. If you're like under 20, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But Brian Bosworth was he was J.J. Watts. He was the guy, sort of, in his mind.
At least in college. He was phenomenal in college. Not as awesome in the NFL, but this was really early in his NFL career. So he was a huge name. He was still a big name.
Remember, he had that hair shaved on the side, and that was crazy.
Yeah. He had the look and everything, for sure.
He looked like a pro wrestler, for sure.
He did.
But the score was 34-34. They hand the ball to Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson takes it to the house and wins the game. And he runs out the stadium. The hallway was open and right out.
I didn't realize it was the same score. That's insane. It's a blast from the past because, as you know, Gnarly, those were divisional rivals. Seahawks and Raiders. It's weird that they're in two different conferences right now. I didn't realize it was the same exact score. That's nuts. I do like the celebration by Josh Jacobs where he crossed the goal line and just had the ball in one hand, arms extended. And then it looked like he was flipping the bird initially to a fan and then kind of turned into a peace sign sort of. That was a sly flipping of the bird. It was a quick flip. I'm going to say a quick flip there.
Yeah, the only thing that could have made it better is if someone from the fish market would have thrown a fish and he caught it and spiked it. That would have been the ultimate.
And he hammer throwed it through it. I don't know the proper. He hammer threw it like you should have hammer thrown rugs, but he was dug into it.
Yes. Well, so we got Chargers on Sunday, turnaround Thursday, Chargers light or whatever. I mean, same color scheme. So I'm not going to wear blue or yellow for 10 days. I think that should cover it.
I like what you're thinking here. Raiders owe the Chargers. You think way back to week 1 when Carr threw the 3 interceptions, that was a 5-point ball game. So now you get the Chargers in Vegas. That's a big game. That's a big game for both teams as far as their playoff lives go.
I was looking at stats. The Chargers are 30th in run defense.
Yeah.
30th.
Yeah.
So
not good.
That could be good. It could be great.
Yeah, they're bad. It could be great for the Raiders, but yeah, they're bad against the run. I think I could go for at least 43 against them,
I think the over is safe. I think the over is the bet.
See, that's what I like. I like gambling advice from you, Gnarly.
Yeah. Although my Santa is rubbing at my face with his New Orleans music, but that's all right. All right, Brian, no, we will get together next week. Now, it's a short week, so I don't know how we're going to do that. In fact, we'll figure it out. But because basically they're going to play the night before our show airs. So,
wow.
Yeah, so we might have to get up early Friday morning. We'll figure it out. But
we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll definitely figure that out. But looking forward to it. I'm going to be positive like you.
All right.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be positive like you. When the chips are down, chip in a chair, okay? It's not about what you started off with and what you currently have. It's do you have a chip in a chair? If you do, where there's a will, there's a freaking way.
I did some research into that. The casino chairs, they're like $500 a piece. So really, that chair is valuable.
Right.
If you actually took it out, I don't think they'll let you.
Right. And even though it's not your chair, you're sitting in it. So let's just appraise it as $500 for yourself.
Right.
While you have those chips. Yeah.
Hey, possession is 9/10 of the law, right?
Right. Yeah. I think it applies to poker chairs also.
I think so too. Brian, no, I love you, man. Thank you, brother. And,
love you too, man. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.
We'll be back with more Inside the Patch on 1430 ESPN, your official home of the Las Vegas Raiders.